A swarm of blinking yellow lights punctuated the nighttime sky. They weren't stars. They weren't headlights or flashlights or anything with a rational explanation. These were a bright electric yellow, blinking in and out and zipping around each other, growing steadily bigger.
Holy shit! They're heading right for the house.
If you ask me, I should have been here a long time ago.
Hey!
Idina nudged the back of Bam's arm. He frowned at her over his shoulder as she pointed at the windows.
Tell me you've seen those before.
Huh?
Richard raised his glass toward the room.
So, in the spirit of...
Incoming! South wall!
Idina had no idea who'd shouted it, but the second the words were out, the room exploded into action. That started with the first flashing yellow light, now the size of a dinner plate, smashing through one of the windows close to the ceiling. Glass rained down everywhere.
Clear the front!
The crackling, darting yellow light let out an animal scream before diving toward the closest operator heading for the windows. The guy shouted something in a booming bass voice, but Idina couldn't hear the words because they smashed into her head like a thunderclap going off 3 inches away. She slapped her hands to her ears, and the crackling yellow sphere dropped to the floor with a splat. The second it hit the floor, the rest of the windows shattered all at once. Glass shards flew in all directions, and at least 24 more zipping yellow lights darted into the room. Idina's entire body burned like fire because it wasn't only dozens of flittering lights screaming like fighting cats anymore. The other Hellion operators around the room were fighting back, and she felt every bit of it. The yellow lights zipped through the room, crashing into the walls and shooting yellow electric sparks at anyone and everyone. One of them careened into the chandelier and nearly took it out of its ceiling mount. Others darted toward the operators, screeching and zipping around as they spat crackling lines of yellow light like darts. From every part of the room, Hellion Squadron unleashed their magic in return. Streaks of light in every color imaginable darted around the room as the operators aimed. One guy leapt impossibly high to catch a screaming yellow light. By the time he reached the floor again, he had the squirming, jolting thing tucked under one arm as he wrestled it to the floor and punched it repeatedly. Purple flashes flared across the room, zipping out toward the yellow lights in all directions at once, before one of them crashed into the wall beside Idina's head. She quickly stepped aside and tried to narrow her attention to one of the attacking yellow things. Another operator ducked beneath a yellow projectile from another glowing orb dipping toward him. Then he spread his arms and let the screaming thing dive right down toward his chest. The second it hit him, a brilliant white light burst out of the guy's chest and took down 4 of the crackling orbs simultaneously. The shockwave rippled across the entire living room and sent most operatives staggering away, but they quickly regained their balance to continue the fight. Someone crashed into the end of the hors d'oeuvres table and almost took it down with him. He righted the wobbling table in time, then spun and knocked a swooping yellow orb away with a furious swing of his arm. On impact, his arm flashed an alarming shade of red. Everywhere magic blazed like a holiday light show.